Hey guys, my name is Klein, and in today's video I'll be potting this nursery stock Cape Honeysuckle into a plastic training pot. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do with this Cape Honeysuckle is to take it out of the plastic nursery container. So you just squeeze it a bit, take a chopstick, loosen it up on the sides, and you can pull it out a lot easier. And also if it's dry, then you can take out the plant a lot easier as well. And Cape honeysuckles are indigenous to South Africa. They are evergreen in hot regions, but they can lose their leaves in colder ones. So let's get started with raking the old soil out. You start from the center and you just rake outwards. Cape honeysuckles are also frost hardy up until -5 degrees Celsius, and for people on coastlines they also tolerate salty sea breezes, which makes them versatile for bonsai. Even though they are frost hardy and can survive up till -5 degrees Celsius, frost can still set them back quite a lot, but they will regrow in spring. Okay, now that most of the old nursery soil is out, I'm just gonna give these roots a little bit of a wash, and then we'll do some root work. Okay, now that the old soil has been washed out, we can start to do some root work. And immediately I see some roots that are too high up, because I want to raise the tree a little bit in the soil. So what I'm gonna do is take off some of these very high roots. And there's one thick one over here that I can take off. It's very high. The root plane is over here, but then this one is high up here, so then can just take it off. I'm just gonna clean it up a bit with my other cutters. That will heal up quickly. There's still some sort of taproot or a thicker root that comes off from the bottom. I'm not sure if I will be able to reduce it. Maybe somewhat. I'm gonna reduce the size and take out the vigor out of some of these roots. I'm pretty sure I can take it off over here. This is quite a nice piece. That reduces the bottom plane as well a lot. Actually, I can take it off even further. Let's see, because now there's just like a stump at the bottom, and I'm gonna take it off further. Like that. So now it's a lot flatter, as you can see. If it sits on my hand, it will not sit like this, but rather flat. And that's the end goal, is to have a nice flat radial root system. So there's another one that's going to become a problem. I think I'm gonna take it off. That shortens the whole root system, and then it's just taking back these longer shoots like that, and we're done. You can see it's very radial. There's some that's a bit over each other at the moment, but for the first root work on this honeysuckle, I think it's fine. So now just make sure the roots are moist. Next, I'm gonna take my training pot. It's full of little holes, so I'm not gonna put a drainage screen over them. They're small enough, but I am going to maybe just put a little bit of pebbles over it, so that most of the soil doesn't go through. And I just use some crush just so that it helps with the drainage. And you don't need a lot, maybe like 2 hands, and that's it. I'm gonna fill it up with bonsai soil. Okay, at this point it doesn't really matter where the front of the tree is, because it's in a training pot. Then making sure the roots are nice, radial. Just pressing it in, making sure it's nice and compact. Then you go with your chopstick and just make sure there's no air pockets between the roots and the soil. And once you have potted it up, you can use some of the same crush just as a top decoration. This also discourages birds, so that and they don't put their beaks into the soil searching for worms and things. And even though it's in a training pot, you can still decorate it with some crush or something, and just so that it looks nice. Now that it is root pruned and potted, we can start pruning it. Because we took off a lot of roots, now we have to take off a lot of foliage as well. So whenever you do root work, whenever you take a lot of roots off, you have to make sure to take off a lot of leaves as well from the top, so that the amount of roots that are left can support the amount of leaves. And the first thing, I have two branches here on top of each other, and this is not good because the one branch will put the other one in a shadow, so then it won't get enough light. And as you can see, there's nothing growing here already because of this guy on top. So I'm just gonna shorten it first, maybe there. And also this branch, there's one directly across from it, so that's called the handlebar branch, because it makes like a motorcycle or bicycle handlebars. And that's also not a good thing on bonsais, because it will create a knot on the trunk. So actually I'm gonna then take off, or maybe you don't have to take it off completely. There's a branch over at the back, so I might just take it back and see. Quite a big piece that I took off, and now you can see what the little branch at the back. So for a first pruning, you can sort of just do general cut back and then let it grow out again, and not worry about the front too much, because it's so young and there's not a lot of branches to work with yet. You don't really, like, the chance of your front changing is quite high. This little branch at the bottom is very low, but I haven't decided on the height of the tree yet. But if this is the first branch, then the tree must be like perhaps this tall. The rule of thumb is your first branch should be at a third of the height of the tree. But I'm gonna leave this little first branch alone just to see what happens. I can always take it out at a later stage. This branch is also very long, so I'm just gonna take it back there. This sole branch is bothering me quite a lot because it's almost as thick as the trunk, and it's thicker than most of the other branches. So I think I need to cut it back hard. So let's see. Okay. And then over here I'm gonna reduce the whole tree back over there. Wash must go completely. The flowering time on Cape honeysuckles are very erratic. They can bloom throughout the whole year, and they attract nectar feeding birds and quite a lot of butterflies as well. So if you want some more butterflies in your garden, definitely make sure to get some Cape honeysuckles. Okay, now I've reduced it back to a stump, but they do grow very fast, and hopefully in a couple of weeks time you will see lots of new growth on this little shrub. Now that it's been cut back a lot and I'm done, we can give it a nice watering. Okay, let's have a look at this Cape honeysuckle now on its first journey to becoming a bonsai. Now that it's been reduced to basically a stump. Now I'm gonna try and root these cuttings that I took off, and gonna just try and root them in the nursery pot that it came in, the plastic nursery pot. Whenever I plant something in these nursery pots, you can see they have quite a lot of holes. I just like to put a handful of rocks in it, and that just helps with the drainage, so that the soil doesn't wash out. And because these are cuttings, I'm not gonna use my bonsai soil. I'm just gonna use normal potting mix that you can get in any garden center. And once they root and they grow strong, I'll transfer them to bonsai soil. Okay, and you don't even have to fill up the whole bucket. Let's start with this one. What I'm gonna do is take off these lower branches, and then I'm gonna take off this whole top part of here. And then making one cutting ready, we created some more cuttings. So then you just stick them in. I might have too little soil in here, so let me just put in some more. Okay, then we can just stick our cutting in. I'm taking off a lot of the leaves because there's no roots on them. What I'm gonna do is take it off over there. Then we'll see if this roots or not. Quite a thick one. Now that the cuttings have been planted, I can give them a water as well. Thank you for watching the first ever pruning of this Cape Honeysuckle, and if you want to follow the journey of this tree, please make sure to subscribe so that you won't miss any future work that I will be doing on it. Until next time, cheers!